everyone, how y'all doing? Welcome and welcome back to my channel and welcome to a new writing vlog. So I'm about to sit down and do revisions on my novel What You Mean to Me. If you've not seen my most recent vlogs, I will link them down below for you to go check out. But basically, I am a YA romance author and I am newly agented. I just signed with a literary agent at the end of August and now it's time to work on edits for my book. So the book that I got an agent for is my novel What You Mean to Me. It's a YA romance between a concert photographer and a pop star, and they used to date. Now Maisie, the concert photographer, has to photograph her ex-boyfriend Christopher's show for her job, and some tension, some things happen. I'm very excited. It's dual POV, second chance romance, forced proximity, all super fun things. So in the last vlog, I was preparing for these edits. So I was rereading the book, I was creating like a bit of an outline of sorts and going through my edit letter, coming up with solutions, and I'm pretty happy with where I am sitting right now with everything that I need to do. But I'm just so excited to start working on this. Like, I feel like I have a fire lit under my butt to work on this book right now. Like, it's all I can think about, it's all that I want to do, and like I'm just so excited about having an agent and being able to work with her on my book. And I haven't felt this creative and this inspired in a very long time, and I just love returning to this project and working on this project. I love these characters, I love this world that I've created, and I'm so excited about the new direction that we're taking the book in. The biggest edits are in the end of the book, the last 80% or so, and that is where we are starting in today's vlog. We are starting with the hardest edits, the biggest edits first, mainly because I am going to be drafting some new scenes for this ending, and I don't always draft super clean, and so I just want to make sure that I have ample time and space away from the words to be able to go back and revise it, because I want to make sure that the new things that I'm adding in match the level of writing that the rest of the book is. The basic game plan is, in this vlog I'm going to revise the entire ending, the last 80% of the book, and then in the next vlog I'm gonna go back to the beginning and I'm going to do the edits, the smaller edits. It's really not as bad throughout the rest of the book. Do the smaller edits, and then when I get to the ending again, I can then do further edits on the ending, clean up the prose a little bit, probably add more descriptions because I always lack those in first drafts. So that's the game plan. I just think it's the smartest to go with the ending first, since it's going to ripple effect kind of everything else. And I don't know, I feel like it's the smartest, you know, to get the big stuff out of the way, and then, you know, I'll go back to the beginning, and by the time that I get back to the end I will have had some distance from it, and then I'll probably reread through the book again and just do more cleanup edits before sending it back to Nikki, who is my agent, Nikki Carrero at the Rights Factory. I'm obsessed with her, but I'm so excited. I think that this is gonna be so good, and I think the book is gonna be so much stronger after this in a way that I never could have anticipated. I feel like I haven't made super huge changes in this book for a while, and I'm just really excited about these ones. Like, I think it's gonna make the book so much better, but I am obviously a little bit nervous. If you guys know me at all, I hate drafting, and I do have to draft new scenes in this new draft, like I said, and we're starting with one. Like, the first scene I have to do is me adding in a new scene, which is arguably one of the most important scenes that we are doing. Like, it's addressing one of the bigger problems that my agent had. So there's a lot of pressure on this scene, and I'm excited to write it. I'm really excited about the idea of it. I literally just got the idea for it today at work. Like, it was just kind of like a quiet moment and it just came to me, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god. So that's what I've been working on recently. I'm literally starting this vlog immediately after finishing the last one, so if you just watched the last vlog, it's the same me, same day, literally just a minute or two later. So I am anxious going into this new scene, but also very excited. I think it's gonna be so much stronger. I just need to like nail it. So let me tell you the logistics of how I'm going to be doing this. I love to share like the specific ways that I revise a book, because I especially feel like the first time you do it, you have no idea how to revise a book. Like, I remember when I was first revising a book, I would like try to find YouTube videos of like how to revise a book and things like that, and it would always talk about like the edits that you should be making, the things you should be looking out for. I'm like, okay, but like how do you actually go about doing these changes? And I could never find like good information, and it really is about finding your own process. But I just love like telling you guys specifically what I'm doing, what is happening on my screen. So if you enjoy that, let me know, because I enjoy telling you guys about all the specifics of what I'm doing. But the method that I found has worked for me is I will always have the previous draft opened on one side of my screen, and then I will have the new document on the other side. So specifically for this, I think I'm going to copy and paste the whole book into a new document, and then I'm going to find the 80% mark, find the last chapter that I'm keeping, and delete everything else underneath it. Just get rid of it all. And then I'm just going to retype word for word the rest of the ending. Like, I tend to do that when I'm editing, especially in the earlier ones. Like, I just retype everything, because when you're doing that, you like catch mistakes a bit better, and you can sometimes like figure out how to word a sentence better. Like, there's just a bit more intention behind it, as opposed to if you're just like reading over it. I find actually physically retyping it helps a lot, and for this I obviously want this to be as clean as possible, but also since I am making some larger changes, copying and pasting the entire thing just doesn't really make a lot of sense. So like for this first scene, for example, that I'm doing, I'm keeping like probably like the first paragraph and then like changing the rest of it. So that just wouldn't make sense for me to copy and paste the whole thing. So this is how we're gonna do it. I'm very nervous, but very excited. This is a situation where it would be good to have two screens so that I could have like each thing pulled up properly, but it's just gonna be a split screen situation, and then I'm gonna have to be pulling up my outline as well. Again, having another screen would be so helpful, and I'm thinking I might need to do that one day. But for now, I just need to flip-flop between documents, have split screen things happening. It's a chaotic method, but it's my chaotic method, and it seems to work for me, so I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I think I'm procrastinating now, as I do, by talking to you guys instead of writing. So I think it is time to officially start WYMTM Draft 6. The first draft that I will be revising with an agent. Oh my god. I truly like don't even know how to function. I'm so excited. So I think it's time to start. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we're starting the edits with 80,376 words. I'm so curious to see where it's going to be by the end of these edits, because I feel like I'm going to be adding at least a couple thousand words. So starting off at just over 80,000 K, and let's see what happens. I took a bit of an unexpected break earlier. I went downstairs to get water, and then I somehow was like down there for like a half hour to an hour. I don't even know what happened, but I got wrapped up in talking to my parents. I don't know. And then I came up here and I don't even know what I did, but I did not write. And then I had dinner, and then me and my mom went out to a mall for some reason, impromptu, I don't know. And I only came home at about 9:30 maybe, and I've been writing for the last hour or so, and I have just completed the first chapter of my edits. I don't remember where we were before this. I can actually figure out how many words I wrote. Let me see. I wrote 2,143 words. We are now at 64,242. And I feel relatively good about that. Like, I definitely want to go through it again. I already did go through it. I went through it once already. I just finished. But I'm definitely going to go through it again, obviously, when I go through the entire book. But, like, I actually really like that, which is so rare for me upon, like, first draft writing. Because that's what this is. Because it's a brand new scene that I wrote. Like, I literally kept, like, maybe 4 paragraphs from the original chapter, but like the original scene is completely scrapped. I might try to fit it into some capacity, because like it's in It's of Chris in a recording studio, which I kind of like seeing that part of the process, but it just didn't like fit in this new plan, so I might try to squeeze it in later. I'm not entirely sure, but like I love this. I love this. It's so strange, and maybe it's because I've like worked on this book for so long and I'm so familiar with the characters and everything going on that like it was just so much easier to fall back into Christopher's head and like write out this scene. And it was really satisfying to write because it's a scene that we never got to see obviously in the last draft because it's new, but it's like something that was mentioned that Christopher did, like the basic idea of it, like he does this thing, finally stands up for himself, but we never got to actually see it. I just kind of said that he did it, and it's so much more satisfying to be able to see him like stick it to the man. And like, oh my god, I don't know, like I'm so happy that I got a chance to dive back into this book and improve upon it, because I truly love it so much, and I just know I'm gonna love it 10 times more when I get to the end of this. And I just feel so like energized and excited and like, oh my god, like we're doing the thing, and I'm so happy about it. So I did do that entire scene. I think I like it. I think I hit all the things that I wanted to hit, but I think I need to stop because it's almost 11. Actually no, you know what, I can do the next chapter, chapter 47, because we go back to Maisie, and really the only changes that I'm making are like 2 timeline mentions, just adjusting them. So like literally all I have to do is like put everything in and then go from there. I might copy and paste it, like maybe paragraph by paragraph. I do that sometimes when I revise as well, instead of doing it like retyping, just so it can go a little bit faster, because I don't really anticipate much changing. I might change the wording, but like I said, I think I'm just going to do it paragraph by paragraph or a couple paragraphs at a time and do it that way, and just make sure I'm hitting those timeline like changes. But why not do it? Like it's going to be probably like under 10 minutes to do. But the next Christopher chapter, which is the chapter after Maisie's, is another brand new one, and I don't think I have it in me tonight, unfortunately, to write another brand new, like completely brand new chapter. Like at least this one had a couple of things that I could kind of like bounce off of, but this one will be completely brand new, and I don't think I have it in me tonight. It's simply too late. I do work again tomorrow, thankfully not early in the morning, but I think I'm just gonna do this next Maisie chapter and then I'll be done for the night. But I'm really happy with that. Like that just gave me so much hope for this book and so much hope for these revisions, and I'm just feeling really excited. I'm also just realizing that normally in my bullet journal when I do revisions, I do like a chapter by chapter breakdown spread that I can like color off as I do things, and I didn't do that this time around. And I'm thinking maybe I should add a spread in here, even though I literally just finished like adding titles and everything to my bullet journal last night. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should do another spread, because why shouldn't I do another spread? You know, I could technically do 2 spreads. I could do one that is like for the ending, and then I can make another one that's from the beginning of the book to the end of the book. I think I'm gonna do that. Honestly, any excuse to make more writing spreads in my bullet journal I kind of want to take, because it's mainly a reading journal, but I do love tracking my writing in here. So here's what I think I'm gonna do. I think I'm gonna do this Maisie chapter real quick, and then there's a video that was uploaded on YouTube that I want to watch by a girl named Allie. She's one of my favorite YouTubers. She mainly talks about Taylor Swift, but also some pop culture, and her new video is about the summer I turned pretty, and I simply need to watch it. So I think I'm gonna watch that and then maybe switch to Gilmore Girls and start penciling in at least these spreads. I don't know if I'm gonna have much room to do like the artistic things, like add my Pillsbury cookies into the spread. We're gonna have to see. I just don't know if there will be enough room. I'm gonna need to just kind of pencil things out and play around with it, but I think I'm gonna at least start those spreads and then maybe I can finish them tomorrow. But this is exciting. Like I feel so excited right now and so energized and so happy. This is amazing. Okay, wow. It is now September 10th. I did not end up doing literally any writing yesterday. not at all. I got home from work and I honestly did not feel like writing. I was so tired. Like I sat down, opened up my laptop, stared at the document for a second, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this. No way. I did, however, finish my bullet journal spreads, so I'll show you those quickly. My camera is about to die. I did them here, so I have a page here for the ending edits and then one for the entire book when I go through from the beginning. So this is what it's looking like. Beautiful, stunning. I am obsessed. So glad that I got that done yesterday, but did not get any writing. But you know what? I have time. I still have a month left until my deadline. We're doing great. We're doing fine. I did just sit down to do some writing a little bit ago, and I just spent like half an hour researching Malibu Beach because I had this scene, this new chapter that I'm writing for Christopher, and it's set in LA, and I realized I did not come up with a setting for this scene. And I also realized that I have like never mentioned like a specific setting in LA, and it's because like in this previous draft, like draft 5, I'm currently working on draft 6. In draft 5, there was no like there was really no scenes in LA. There was one in a recording studio, but I never mentioned what studio it was. So I never really had any scenes taking place in LA. Now I do. And so I was like, I need to figure out where this is set. It needs to be something in LA, obviously. And then I was like, why not do it at Malibu Beach, which is a very popular beach, obviously, in LA, but also is mentioned in Starstruck, and they go to Malibu because that's where Christopher surfs. So amazing. Fantastic. Now I have another little Starstruck reference in the book and also a setting for this scene that I really needed. So currently it's taking place in Malibu, and I spent about a half hour researching Malibu and trying to find good pictures of Malibu. So that was fun. And now I am 2 paragraphs into this chapter, and it's coming a little bit hard for me. I'm having some difficulties, but I think once I like actually get into it, it'll be fine. I think I'm like just worrying too much about the descriptions, which I'm gonna try to let go of just temporarily because I'm gonna be coming back through this. But I want to make sure that when I do come back through, I am like making sure that there are good descriptions in here, especially for these LA scenes. Like I want them to feel like they're in LA. I don't know, like in the last chapter that I wrote for Christopher, it's his concert in LA, and I just went back in and wrote that it was at the Fonda Theater because it's a similar venue size as the venue that he plays in Vancouver. And so I was like, this feels like a good like progression. Okay, my camera died, so I'm gonna try to make this quick, but it feels like a good progression from, you know, the Vogue in Vancouver to the Fonda Theater in LA. That's what's going on. I went back and did that, but I'm not gonna worry about it too much because these are technically first drafts. You know, like this is the first time I am writing these scenes, maybe pulling in a line or two from, you know, the recaps that I did of these scenes in previous drafts. You know, it's kind of like, oh, I did this and then I did this, but I'm like, I'm not actually showing it, if that makes sense. Like these scenes existed, but they weren't written. Is that more confusing? I don't know. Basically, Christopher explains things that happened before the current day of his chapter. I think I'm digging myself into a deeper hole here. Regardless, the context of this scene existed. It was just never written before. So all these new scenes that I'm adding, mainly for Christopher, I'm not really adding many new scenes for Maisie. They're gonna be written like a first draft because they are. It's the first time I'm writing them. So I don't pay attention that much to descriptions in my initial drafting phase, because I just need to make sure I get the story down, get the dialogue down, make sure I know the beats of what's happening, and then once I do revisions, each draft I bulk up the descriptions more. So I just need to remember that as I'm doing this and not worry so much in the moment of making it match the description levels of other chapters, because I'm going to be coming back to this. You know, like once I finish the ending, I'm going to go back to the beginning and we are going to do it all over again, you know? So that's what's happening. So I was like doing 30 minutes of research on Malibu so I could do some descriptions, and I'm like, I can do this later. Like I just need to get this scene down. I need to finish it because I didn't write yesterday and I want to like get this done. And I just realized the next chapter is also a new Christopher chapter. Oh my god. It's currently 9:40 p.m. I don't work tomorrow, and I didn't work today. I decorated for fall all day today. I'm very happy about it. But I don't work tomorrow, so I don't have to go to bed early. So you know, I don't really have any other plans tonight besides this. So I'm gonna try to make as much progress as possible in this. Maybe get through 3 chapters, because that will give me the 2 new Chris chapters and then an old Maisie chapter that has no edits written down for it. I'll probably still reread it. I'm procrastinating now. I need to actually charge my camera. I'm excited for this scene. I'm having trouble with like the opening of it, and like I was sitting here for like a good 20 minutes trying to decide where to set the scene to begin with, so it's been a mess. It's been a mess, but I'm going to get back to work. I'm excited to work on it once I get into like the flow of the scene. I just finished chapter 48. It's now 11:11. Make a wish, guys. Just finished chapter 48, and it's not great. There's definitely descriptions missing, very much so just like dialogue, very bare bones. I did go over it once already, just adding in a few extra details that I was thinking of, but it will definitely need some work when I return to it, so that is something to look forward to, but it's there, and that's what's important. It is quite a crucial scene that I left out before, and I like it. I feel like it's providing closure between these 2 characters that I didn't have before, that was kind of just like brushed over, and I feel like it was necessary to see this conversation between these 2 characters and see that resolution. So I'm pleased with that aspect of it. It just needs some work. And then I was thinking like, ugh, I'm feeling really tired. Like I just want to go to bed or I just want to like sit in bed and like watch TV. But then I was like, no, like let me start the next chapter. So then I started it and I literally got 2 sentences in. And then I was like, wait, I don't think this should be the next chapter. So this next chapter was supposed to be a new Christopher chapter, but then I was like, as I was like starting it, I realized there's something else that I should probably put before this, but I can't have 3 Christopher chapters back to back. That's just stupid. So we're changing some things. I'm thinking potentially this next chapter, which is chapter 49, I'm thinking is going to be the Maisie chapter that was supposed to be chapter 50, and then the new chapter 50 will be another new Christopher scene that I'll be adding in, and then chapter 51 will be the chapter that I was just trying to write, and then we'll go on from there. Or potentially I could keep this chapter as a Christopher chapter but have it be this new scene that I want to write, and then keep chapter 50 as Maisie and then go back to Chris, and then I mean, I could always change it later, change the order of things later, but maybe I'll keep this as a Christopher chapter. Much to think about, much to think about. I'm just thinking about the flow of things. I just feel like we're very heavy in the Christopher chapters at the moment because I'm adding new content for him that wasn't there before, but I'm not adding a whole lot for Maisie. I think she's getting 1 new scene, but like so far I've had 1 Maisie chapter. Like chapter 46 Christopher, chapter 47 Maisie, 48 Christopher, 49 Christopher, and I want to make sure that I'm keeping like a good balance between the 2. I'm gonna need to like look through and see how many chapters I have for each character and see if it's balanced, because I want it to be balanced. I want it to feel balanced, and like for the most part I do go back and forth, like swapping between them every single chapter. There's just a couple where it's like 2 in a row of the same character. I don't know, I need to think about this. Oh god, I thought I had it figured out. Like I wrote down on a post-it note and everything, and now I'm like second guessing it. I'm just trying to think about like the flow of things. Okay, you know what, I'm gonna do a Christopher chapter next, just because there's something that Maisie reacts to in the next chapter that I think will hit better if we like hear it from Christopher first and then we see her reaction. So okay, I'm gonna do Christopher's chapter next, and then I'll go to Maisie, and then I'll do the chapter for Christopher that I was trying to just start but realized needs to come just slightly later. This is so exciting. Like truly, revisions are my favorite part of the process, and I really do enjoy that like puzzle piece aspect of it, of like trying to piece things together and figure out where things fit. Like there's something so satisfying about it to me, and then also like seeing things become better, because for me, drafting is like pretty consistently shitty. Like I really don't enjoy it, and it tends to like just be a mess. Like the scene I just wrote, like it's not great. But revisions, it's like about making things better, and I can see like the finish line of what this book could look like, and I'm obsessed with it. Like already I loved this book so much, and I'm only loving it more through these revisions, which is really exciting. And especially like while querying, like you kind of like move on from the project in a way. Like yes, I was actively querying it, I was actively thinking about it in terms of like, you know, having to send out those queries, but it wasn't like an active thinking of like the book itself and like the content. Like I wasn't thinking about editing this book, you know. Since the last edits I made at the tail end of last year, like I have not been thinking about this book and changes to make to it, because I didn't know if that was ever going to be a thing. I didn't know that I was going to get an agent for this book. I didn't know that I was going to be in this position. So it's not something that I let myself think about. And now I'm here and I'm seeing the possibilities, and you know, the edit letter that I got from Nikki, and it's just so much fun to be able to jump back into this book, a book that I didn't know if I was going to get the chance to jump back into. You know, like I have the other 2 projects that I queried that I'm hoping I can return to someday with Nikki. But like those books, like I had to say goodbye to them for the time being, not knowing if I would ever get to work on them again, not knowing if I would ever get an agent who would want to work on those books with me. And I really thought that What You Mean to Me was going to be heading in the same direction, like heading to the metaphorical book graveyard, I guess. Like I don't know, but I'm really enjoying jumping back into it and being with his characters. And even though I have now had an agent for weeks now, I still feel very emotional, and like tears immediately come to my eyes when I like think too hard about this whole thing, and like think too hard about the fact that I'm getting to work on this book again, and like we're gonna go on submission with it, and we're gonna try our darn hardest to sell it. I don't know, oh my god, I'm gonna cry. What is wrong with me? Nothing's wrong with me. It just means that I care so much about writing and about my books, and this book in particular, for some reason, just like, oh, it hits a certain spot in my heart, and I'm just obsessed with it. But yeah, it's really nice to work on this book again. Clearly I'm in love with it, and I'm just so excited. Current word count, by the way, we are now at nearly 68,000 words. Again, don't remember where we started off. I know I said it at the beginning of the vlog, I do not remember. I know it was earlier in the 60,000s, but yeah, we're gonna see how big this book ends up being, because obviously I'm adding whole new scenes. Like so far we're gonna be adding in 3 new Christopher scenes. I'm hoping it doesn't get much bigger than like 87,000 words. We're gonna see. I'm just rambling now. It's currently 11:20 now. Do I want to try to write this next chapter? I don't think so. Okay, you know what, I'm gonna try to write this next chapter, and we're gonna see what happens. I'm gonna try. If it doesn't work out, whatever, but I just feel like I need to try. So I'm gonna do that, and I think maximum I'm gonna work till midnight. I'd rather not be working that late because I'm feeling real tired. Maximum, I want to stop working at midnight. I want to crawl into my bed and watch some like Gilmore Girls or something. I haven't even like written out a proper outline for this scene. I just kind of was like, this is gonna happen, and then here we are. It's now past midnight. I'm not done the chapter, and I'm realizing I think I need to go with the plan I was talking about in the last clip, where I swap the chapters that I was gonna do, because I'm realizing that like in order to do this scene, the next chapter of Christopher I was going to do needs to come first. I do not want to stay up and write anymore. Like I'm tired, I want to crawl into bed. So I think what I'm gonna do, just to make sure I don't like lose what I'm doing here, I need to now bump this down a chapter or 2, because I need a Maisie chapter in between, because I cannot have 3 Christopher chapters in a row. Okay, maybe what I'll do is I'll combine the 2. Like I'll just have like a little scene at the beginning of Christopher, you know, doing what he needs to do in order for this chapter to make sense, and then I'll just tack this at the end of it. It'll be 1 chapter. Maybe we'll try that. Okay, I'm gonna do that. set it all up, make a little note to myself in the document so that I remember when I come back to it tomorrow, and we will go from there. I think the only plan I have tomorrow, I'm pretty sure, is to film a video. I think I also put to edit it, but we'll see if I want to do that or not. I don't remember when I wanted the video to go up, so I don't know if I need to do that, but I want to try to get a lot of writing in tomorrow, because really I only completed 1 chapter today, so that's not ideal. I mean, it's fine. It's fine. I still have a month. I still have a month. It's fine. I'm not stressed about it. I'm just being ridiculous. It's fine. So I'm just gonna do a little puzzle in here to piece this together. It's a mess. It's fine. But yeah, I just want to give that update. I'm done. I'm tired. I want to crawl into bed, play games on my phone, and put on Gilmore Girls or something. I don't know. It's too late to start a movie, obviously. Yeah, maybe I'll get a little snack as well, because I deserve a little treat. I know I said I wasn't gonna write anymore, but I did. I did not write anymore in the Christopher chapter. Basically, I was reformatting it, fixing some things, right? Putting that note to myself. And then I was like, let me just put in Maisie's chapter next. You know, it's not a big deal. And then as I was reading through it, I was like, oh, there's actually some bigger edits to this chapter than I thought. Like, I thought there was no edits to this chapter. I failed to put in an edit that Nikki had, just like a little comment about something that I had to take out, and so I fixed that real quick. But then also I realized that this is the first Maisie chapter I think we've had since like this huge thing would have happened with Chris. Maybe I might need to go back and read through, but like this huge thing happened with Chris at his concert, and Maisie needs to have a reaction to it, and so I had to add that in. Is it great? I don't know, but I needed to add something in, so I will come back to that when I do another reread. But I ended up writing more. It's now 12:42. So here we are. I'm pretty tired, and now I'm gonna go to bed. But we are currently sitting at 71,111 words. I'm gonna be so curious to see what this final word count is. Struggling all day to write. I've literally been sat here for hours trying to get this scene done that I was trying to work on yesterday, and it's been a struggle. It's really been a struggle because I'm taking parts of a scene from the previous draft but completely like changing the context of the scene, and so parts of this conversation had to be swapped, and I had to figure out how to transition from like the paragraphs that I wrote yesterday into this conversation, because the transition that I used in the original scene couldn't be used anymore because it's a completely different like context and setting, and literally changing everything about it, trying to get to a similar end result. And it's just like, I don't know, I feel really tired today, and it just like wasn't really flowing. It wasn't working. You guys saw I just set myself a 15-minute timer. I decided I needed a sprint because I kept singing along to my music. I kept going onto Twitter and reading things about the summer I turned pretty, or like doing stupid things that we're not writing, or I watched like the Walter Boys promo videos, like little interviews that they've done. It's stupid. Like, I need to be writing, and I need to be like focused and like locked in, and it's been a struggle today. But I did that sprint, and I managed to lock in, and I continued writing after the sprint, and I just finished the scene. And now I can return back to the scene that I was writing yesterday that I had to stop writing because I realized I had to change things. So I'm about to dive into that, and I'm nervous about it. I'm hoping that it goes better. I just want to finish this chapter. Like, I'm so over it. I just want to be done. I want to move on. Like, as much as I'm enjoying doing these edits and I'm feeling really good about them, and I'm excited to like reread the book and get back to these scenes and see how it all flows together, I'm feeling that desire to work on the easier edits, like the things where I'm just like fixing some timeline things and like fixing up the wording of sentences and things like that, because this is hurting my brain, and it's satisfying. It's so satisfying. And these are like the kind of revisions that I do love doing. it's just for some reason hard today. Like it's just not flowing, but it's currently 4:25. Like I've literally been sat here for hours working on this just to finish one scene. So I'm gonna reread what I wrote yesterday. I don't even know where I left off with it yesterday, but I'm gonna try to read it and see if I can finish it and see what I can do with it, and then by the time I finish it, it'll probably be dinner time, and then I will return to it after dinner. I'm trying to get a lot of work done, guys. My deadline that I set myself for doing these ending edits, I believe, was the 22nd of September. It's currently the 11th, like I said, and I've only done 4 chapters. I could, like, I'm gonna finish on time, but a part of me also just like wants to finish early. I don't know why I'm like that. I don't know why I'm like that, but I like to finish things earlier than they need to be done. It feels satisfying. I don't know, so we're gonna see. But I think the plan is to finish chapter 49, which is this chapter that I skipped over here, and then try to do another chapter or 2. I don't know. I think it's gonna be fine. It's gonna be so good. I decided not to film my video today. I think I mentioned that yesterday, that I needed to film a video. Woke up, I knew it wasn't in the cards for today. I'm so tired and I don't even know why. I just like I was like, no, I'm not in the mood to film like a sit down video. So I'm gonna try it again tomorrow to film it. So my day has been focused on the writing. I'm hoping to still get writing done tomorrow as well, and hopefully also on Saturday. I do work Sunday. We're gonna see. Revising is hard. It is, but it's rewarding. And like I've always said, it's my favorite part of the process, and like I am really enjoying it. It's just there's also hard days, and today and yesterday are some of those hard days, but it's okay. I think I'm breaking through. I just got to finish this last scene in this chapter, and then I can move on, and that's gonna feel so great. I finished the chapter. Oh my goodness. I reached a point where I was like continuing the chapter, and then I was like, what if I just didn't though? Like, what if I just cut this last line that I wrote and leave it at this kind of like cliffhanger-esque line? It's not like 100% a cliffhanger, because I feel like, you know, hopefully you can kind of gather where it's going, but I feel like it is a little bit of a cliffhanger. A nice way to kind of end off the chapter, and then I can start Christopher's next chapter, you know, to kind of confirm what's going on. But I kind of like it, at least for now. Like, I'm trying to let go of that perfectionism for these new scenes that I'm adding, because they don't need to be perfect right now. Like, I'm going to go over them again. That's why I've decided to do the ending first before going into the beginning, because that way I'll be able to like read the whole book, see how it flows, and work on the ending again when I reach it. So it's going to be fine. I left it for now. I like it at the moment. We'll see if I still like it when I reread it, but amazing. So now I can work on chapter 51, which thank God is not a new chapter that I have to write, but it is one that is going to need a lot of revising to now match what has happened before, because this next Christopher chapter is one that had a lot of recapping of things that I've now actually written. So I feel like those recappy things can be just taken out, and I feel like some things are gonna, you know, need to be fixed. I also think I need to redo, I put a note that I think there's like 2 Christopher chapters back to back, and I've now like put a Maisie chapter in between, which I think is good, considering I feel like I've just been stuck in Christopher's head for a while now, because those are the ones I'm spending the most time in to fix and add and create, whereas Maisie's chapters right now are relatively easy. I'm just kind of breezing through them. So I feel like I'm just like in Christopher's head, and because of that I'm getting in my own head of like, oh my god, like the balance is off, there's too much Christopher, but it's because I'm just spending more time in his head at the moment. So when I reread, I will be trying to make sure that like it is balanced and it doesn't feel too heavy on one character or the other. Now I need to work on chapter 51. I might take a break just because I do kind of feel like my brain's broken a little bit, plus it should be dinner shortly, so I think I'm gonna take a bit of a break. But I'm very happy that I finished that chapter, and I think I'd like to finish this chapter 51 Okay, I might need to readjust because chapter 52 is actually something that already happens in chapter 50. I think I forgot that I was switching that into a separate chapter, I think. Okay, I need to think about this because I think I forgot that I was wanting to split this into 2, and now I need to see if I actually want to keep it in 2 or keep it in the one that I have it right now. It's now 10 p.m. Every time I think I'm done writing for the night, I keep on going. I just split a Christopher chapter into 2 because I think I'm gonna try to merge it with something. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm kind of going a little AWOL right now. I don't know what's going on with me today, but I'm just like mixing it up. I'm just like in the moment changing things, and like at least I do have my outline, so if when I go back and reread I can see what my original plan was and I can kind of try to change it. I'm not doing anything crazy. It's just, I don't know, like in the moment figuring out what I want to do. I am kind of like doing like a Frankenstein chapter right now, like putting a few, like I think I'm putting things from like 3 different like scenes together or something. I don't even know what I'm doing, honestly. Yeah, like when you change one thing, it creates a ripple effect and then it like affects everything else. And so because I've kind of changed things that lead up to the scene that I'm currently working on, where Chris is kind of going to his band members, his ex-band members, about something, like the circumstances of it have completely changed, meaning that like the conversations they have need to be changed. So I'm like keeping some things but changing like the context of it, or you know, putting something further down than it was before. And now I'm trying to merge something else, and like I might be deleting whole conversations and like maybe putting them later. I think something just dawned on me. I think the conversation that I was about to transcribe, I'm gonna put in a later scene, because I am remembering that there's a scene that I added later on in the book that's gonna be a new scene where I could put some of this like dialogue and stuff. I'm just like, I'm trying real hard to like navigate this. Oh wait, I just got an idea. Hold on. Okay, I don't know if this is gonna work. I think I need to kind of like read through what I've done and try to fix this, but I'm feeling very overwhelmed. Like today has very much so been a day of Frankensteining things together. Like I feel like I am working on like 3 different puzzles, and I'm trying to create one puzzle with these 3 other puzzles. I'm trying to make it fit. That's kind of a bad metaphor because like it's going to work, it's gonna be fine, but like, you know what I mean, right? You know what I mean. Yeah, I'm trying to repurpose conversations that like need to happen. I just don't know if they can happen in the way that they did before, and so now I'm trying to like figure it all out. And so it's definitely going to be a situation of like having to reread it to make sure that it makes sense and not just like making sense in my head as I'm like in a frenzy putting it together. So it is currently past 10 and I do want to watch like a movie tonight or something and eat some popcorn, but I don't want to like stop working on this in a critical moment like this where I am trying to like execute a certain vision that is coming to me, because I am worried that if I stop and wait until tomorrow when I can get back to writing, that I'm gonna lose the flow, you know. And I don't want to lose the flow. I don't want to lose the momentum. I don't want to lose what's going on in my head right now, and I know that I will. So I just like keep getting to an end of a chapter and I'm like, wait, but like I have such a clear vision for this next chapter and I don't want to forget it, and so I work on it, and now like it's literally 10 p.m. This is crazy. So I think for sure this is gonna be the last chapter that I work on. I just need to figure out how I'm gonna mesh everything together, and it might just have to be taking out a whole aspect of this chapter and moving it to later in the book. I really hope that I can pull this off, what I'm trying to do right now, and hope that everything makes sense. And it's so weird because it has been so long since I've worked on this book that like, well, yes, I still feel precious about some things. I'm also not finding it as difficult to change things or delete certain things that I feel like had I tried to approach these kinds of edits, these big of edits, that was not a proper sentence, but whatever, like if I had tried to approach edits this large when I was closer to the project, like initially working on it, I think it would have been a lot harder to let go of some things. But now I'm finding it easy. I'm like, okay, like this doesn't work anymore, gone. The only reason I'm struggling with this current chapter and conversations that are being had is because these conversations need to be had because they're very, very important to the story, to the characters, to like their conflicts and everything going on. So like I need to make them work. It's just a matter of changing it enough to fit what I've now done to the book and just maybe finding new homes for them, you know. I truly love revision. Like I love revision like you wouldn't even believe, but it's tricky city sometimes. Okay, it's now 10:41. I still have like not fully figured everything out. I did Frankenstein stuff together and now I'm kind of like at a loss for how to continue things. So I think, despite me saying I didn't want to like interrupt my flow and step away from this, I think I'm going to, because I think I need to sleep on it. I need to come back. I've made some notes to myself, like multiple different sticky notes of like ideas and possible, you know, order of chapters and things, and I think I just need to come back to it tomorrow with a fresh, clear brain, and hopefully I'll be able to figure out at that point what needs to happen. I've just created a bit of a mess and like went off the outline, so now it's all out of like order and like I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm going to find a movie to watch. I don't know what it's gonna be, and I'm gonna have some popcorn, I think, and then tomorrow I will return to this and hopefully everything will make sense and I'll have that magical moment where everything just clicks together. That would be so nice. I'm manifesting that for tomorrow, Brittany, because today Brittany is struggling. Okay, so it's the next day, September 12th. I have been thinking things through. Okay, since last night, had a little bit of a mini brainstorm session in my phone, used the notes app, tried to think through what I wanted to do, and I think I've come up with a solution, but it means going back to sections I've already done and adding something in that was not there before. I think I realized that I've bulked up Christopher's story in this ending much more than I've bulked up Maisie's, and I'm feeling that as I'm writing, because I just feel like I'm stuck in Christopher's head so much. Like that's primarily where I've been in these revisions so far, and I think I need to bulk up Maisie's a little bit more. I'm feeling that unbalance, and maybe it's just in my head, maybe it won't read that way when I read it back, I don't know, but I'm thinking I need to like redistribute some things. There's a conversation that Maisie needs to have with her friends after an argument she had, and like the timeline of things was feeling a little bit weird because I've like extended the timeline of this ending, so it feels like I haven't changed the timeline for Maisie from like the last draft, but I've changed the timeline for Christopher's thing, and it's not lining up in the same way that it was before, but like I haven't changed enough about Maisie's chapters to like make it make sense, if that makes any sense. So I'm thinking I need to readjust things a little bit. So I'm going to reread an earlier section of the ending that I've done, see if these changes that I'm considering will even work. I'm just thinking that like this conversation that Maisie has with her friends needs to come sooner in this version and like kind of prolong Maisie's ending, just because I'm thinking that she figures things out a little bit too quickly. I feel like she needs a bit more of like a mourning period almost. I don't really know. I don't know. I'm gonna try my best here. I'm starting a little bit late to my day today. It's currently 3:21. It's been very slow moving today, and I think it's because I've been avoiding sitting down to work on this because I don't fully know what I'm doing. I'm gonna do my best. I am very nervous. So like I said, I'm just gonna start by rereading a little bit and seeing if I can find a spot to naturally put this conversation in, and then I can return to where I was yesterday, hopefully, and figure that out a bit more. I'm just so ready to finish the ending. Like I've been really enjoying it. I know I keep like basically reiterating the same thing this entire vlog. Like I'm really enjoying it and I'm loving the way that it's shaping up, but I'm just ready to tackle the easier edits, the edits that won't make me feel like my brain is breaking. It's been a couple of hard days here working on this, and I'm just ready to move on. I need I need to be productive today. So I'm gonna put my noise canceling headphones on and just try to really lock in on this, and hopefully the puzzle will puzzle. The puzzle will be puzzling. The pieces will fall into place. Oh my god. So I read through some of, you know, what was going on in the draft and realized the timeline incredibly messed up. Incredibly messed up. And so I was like trying to like write out like what was going on, and I was struggling. I was trying to figure it out. So I ended up pulling out a sheet of paper, drew out like a timeline, so I would write down like what each scene was, alternating between Chris and Maisie, and then writing down any like timeline mention of like, oh, a week later, a few days later. Because when I was doing Chris's chapters, because I was mainly in his head, I would just like add in little like timestamps like, oh, it's been a week, and I'm like, I did not think that through in terms of Maisie and what was going on with her, and it was not adding up. So I now have a rough idea of what's going on, and I'm hoping that it works out. So this involves moving that scene with the friends that I talked about earlier, changing it up a bit. Might need to kill some darlings in just, you know, some sentences that have been there probably since like the first or second draft, or maybe just like changing the circumstances of it. It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna figure it out. And then just like changing some details, adding in a new scene. But besides that, I think it's gonna be fine. So I'm gonna try to make these changes real quick. It's not going to be quick, it's going to take me a minute, but I'm going to try to do these changes as quickly as I can so that I can get back to like the regular timeline, you know, where I left off yesterday. I'm not enjoying the chaos of having to like jump back in. Wish I kind of figured this out earlier, but sometimes that's just the way the cookie crumbles, you know? Sometimes you don't think about something until later, it doesn't occur to you, and this is one of those things. I think I was just so focused on Christopher and making his story make more sense, his arc make more sense in the end, that Maisie kind of fell to the wayside a little bit. So here we are, back to fix Maisie's, and then hopefully I'll be able to continue and hopefully it'll make more sense. But here we go, moving a chapter with Maisie's friends, adding in a little scene with her parents, just like a little one, and then making adjustments to other scenes so that they make sense now. So I'm gonna do my best. Okay, I've done literally no work. I sat here and tried to get work done and was failing, and so I decided to start editing a video, and then I went out with my mom to do a little bit of grocery shopping. And as we were like driving away from the house, I was like, Mom, there's a package sitting outside that nobody knew was here. Nobody knocked to announce the delivery, so I ran out of the car and I grabbed the package, and it was for me, and I think it's potentially from my writing group to congratulate me on getting an agent. It feels like a t-shirt. I'm pretty sure they asked me for no reason at all what size t-shirt I normally wear, so I'm excited, I'm nervous. Oh my god, so I wanted to capture my reaction on camera because I think it's fun to do little things like this. No, I don't want to look at it. Okay. I'm gonna let you guys see it first. What does it say? It says Violet Stone! Stop. That's the band in my book. Chris's band. Oh, it says Violet Stone. Oh my god, I love it. Oh my god. Cannot wait to wear this and have everybody be like, oh, what the heck is Violet Stone? Oh my goodness. I love my writing friends. Oh my god. Oh, I just saw, oh my god. Sorry. There's a note. There's a note. Brittany, congratulations on your agent news. We are so excited for you and can't wait to see what you mean to me on shelf someday soon. Love, Drunk Girls. I'm so, oh. Thank you. I'm so happy. I'm so excited. So grateful. I'm gonna wear this all the time. Wow. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I've done no writing. Not really. Okay, I think I like started like revising the scene and trying to figure out a new way to do it. I don't even know, but I ended up stopping because I needed to have dinner, but also I ended up editing a video instead, which is also still a productive use of my time. You know, I feel like I've been like go with these revisions, and I feel like my brain just needs a little bit of a break. So I'm gonna give myself the rest of the night, and hopefully I can return to it tomorrow with, you know, a better, clear headspace. I feel like I said the same thing last night, but oh well, you know, here we are. So I'm actually gonna end this vlog here because I have a lot of footage. So thank you guys so much for watching this vlog. I hope you enjoyed. Give this video a thumbs up if you did enjoy it. Comment down below and let me know what you're up to writing wise recently. I'd love to know. Subscribe if you have not yet already. I've got a lot of great writing content coming, including editing the rest of WYMTM. So if you guys want to find out how editing the ending continues to go, make sure to stick around for the next vlog. But I will see you guys next time. Bye!